I was going to get on here and talk about the Julian Blackmon re-signing. Okay? I was going to get on here, and this video will come after this. I was going to get on here and talk about the rule changes. I was going to get on here and talk about the NCAA tournament. But not 5 minutes ago, I'm sitting here preparing for all of that. Literally doing all of this. And I get a notification on my phone that says Stefon Diggs to the Houston Texans. Wow. Congratulations to the Houston Texans. That's a big move. That is a big move. That is a move that I wasn't really expecting, to be completely honest. I had known that there was probably a little bit of animosity with Stefon Diggs in Buffalo. They weren't getting to the point where Stefon Diggs wanted to be, I guess. That's big. Josh Allen, first of all, he loses a big weapon in Stefon Diggs. That Buffalo Bills team will certainly be knocked down a notch. But we'll get into that later. But the Houston Texans, man, they are not messing around. These are the moves that I kind of want Chris Ballard to make. Big splash moves, you know. And you've got a young quarterback on his rookie contract, a very cheap, very, very cheap rookie contract. And you're able to make moves like this. You're able to go out and get a Joe Mixon. You're able to go out and who's their tight end? Is it Dalton Schultz? You're able to acquire a Stefon Diggs and bolster your offense and your defense. And as an organization, the Houston Texans from 2 years ago, from beating us in that Week 18 game where the Hail Mary at 4th and 20, and then they went for 2 and got it, that, you know, that game, from then until now, they are just a completely opposite end of the spectrum here. It's crazy how much that they've improved. And I hate to admit it because they're in my division as a Colts fan. But you got to acknowledge, like, dude, they've really made some significant moves to not only put them atop of the division, but put them in now the conversation for the AFC championship. Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm not saying this. I'm trying to say this without in any kind of rivalry sense at all. Like, I'm taking all that out of it. Serious take. The Texans are a legit threat in the AFC. Now, the Chiefs are there. They're always going to be there. That's fine. The AFC is honestly stacked as it's ever been. I think the Bills are knocked down a little bit, but you still got the Chiefs. Who knows about that division with the Chargers getting hardballed, the Raiders, how good or bad they're going to be. And then the Titans, they're the Titans. They're making moves too. They're making some moves to. They just traded for Snead. I think I've talked about that in another video. That's a big move for the Titans. So the Titans aren't going away. The only thing the Colts have really done has signed their own. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that as other organizations within the division have seemed to go out and get other players, acquire other players, the Colts have remained steady, remained firm. We're gonna pay our own. Which is fine, which is all great and dandy. Now you've got a quarterback do you absolutely believe in Anthony Richardson. It all comes down to Anthony Richardson. How good is Anthony Richardson really going to be? You're going to have a defense. You're going to have players on defense be able to stop C.J. Stroud and Stefon Diggs. Because Nico Collins in that Week 18 game against the Texans, he torched you. Okay? Let's put it how it is. He torched us. Now you've got Nico Collins, Tank Dell will come back, and you've got Stefon Diggs along with Joe Mixon. Dude, that offense is serious. That offense is serious. I think if you are a Texans fan, you should be very excited today. I think this is a move that really catapults you from just thinking you're at top of the division because you won last year and you made some moves that will keep you there. Now catapulting you to competing for the AFC. I'm serious. I hate to admit that as a Colts fan because, you know, Pat McAfee and C.J. Stroud talked about it on the Pat McAfee show. It's been since 2014 since the Indianapolis Colts won the division. Okay? I had just graduated high school. I'm coming up on my 10-year reunion on my 10-year reunion. Okay? I'm 28 years old. The Colts haven't won the division my entire adult life. We got to get on that shit. And now the Texans are making that as hard as they've ever made it. So, shout out to the Texans. I know I've got a few Texans fans subscribed to here. I'm sure they're glad to hear me give them as much props as I've given them since the finale last season, the regular season finale. But seriously, this is a big move. This is a big move that I got to admit scares me just a little bit. You know, it's not like, okay, the Texans got Tank Dell and Nico Collins and Joe Mixon and C.J. Stroud's really, really good quarterback, and they're only going to get better. Now you add in Stefon Diggs. And let's talk about Josh Allen. Look, I think I've been pretty hard on Josh Allen. I know that I'm not the only one. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think he can win you some games. But you're also going to lose some games because of him. If he doesn't have a wide receiver like Stefon Diggs, I don't think he's the same quarterback. I don't think the Bills are going to be the same without Stefon Diggs. Now, maybe the Bills will make another move because clearly the Bills, they had to agree to this too. So they traded away Stefon Diggs. So we'll see what they can do. Maybe they get a really good guy from the draft. Maybe they go out and they trade for their guy. Maybe a Justin Jefferson, who I think that they've said staying in Minnesota. But I know I've heard talks that he could be traded, he could not be traded. I don't know. It's absolutely crazy. That was an absolute crazy move. That's not a move that I was hoping to see on my phone today. Okay? You know, I could have, like I said, I could have gotten on here and talked about Julian Blackmon finally being signed yesterday, but that didn't happen. Well, I'm sorry. It did happen, but that's not what I'm on here for. I'm on here to talk about the Texans making big moves. So, shout out to the Texans, I guess. Guys, going to be really, really tough for a long time. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully the Colts can compete. I think they can. I really, really do. I think that Anthony Richardson, we won 9 games with Gardner Minshew last season. I think you add Anthony Richardson, and if he can stay healthy, big thing, if he can stay healthy, then I think you're 2 or 3 more wins on top of that. So, I'm serious, 11, 12 wins for the Colts, but you know, you might be playing for a wild card spot if the Texans are that good. But we'll see. We'll see what happens when, you know, when players take the field. We've got a long, long road ahead of us, a long offseason ahead of us. But this is one of the moves that just, wow. So, but that's all I got. I am the big dog named Austin. And as always, go Colts.